Hello everyone, we're standing here today at the Hydrogen Technology Expo in Hamburg, organized by Transglobal Events. My name is Johann Wiebe from Hydrogen Standard, and we're at the booth of Heraeus, and I'm standing here with Philipp from Heraeus Precious Metals, I should say. Welcome, Philipp.
Thank you very much, that is absolutely correct.
Good to get that straightened out. Right, let's do a little bit of an introduction. Heraeus Precious Metals, what do you guys do and what is your role in the business?
So Heraeus Precious Metals is a large precious metals company. So we basically deal with all sorts of precious metals. There are eight. It's gold, silver, platinum, palladium, rhodium, iridium, osmium, and ruthenium. And we basically have three business elements. One is basically we do trading of precious metals. We have precious metal-based products, also for the hydrogen economy, of course. And last but not least, we do the recycling of all sorts of precious metal wastes.
Fantastic, thank you for that. And what do you do?
I'm responsible basically for the hydrogen economy. So it's an own business line named Hydrogen Systems, and we focus on electrocatalysts for electrolysis. We are focusing on recycling of spent MEAs or even stacks. Yeah. And we are focusing on everything on all the precious metals in a stack, if it's an electrolyzer or fuel cell stack.
Fair enough. So to the question then, what does Heraeus Precious Metals do in the hydrogen economy? Did you already answer that, or do you have anything else to add to that?
I can drill a little bit deeper if you want to. So basically, Heraeus, we try to cover the whole value chain of precious metals in the whole value chain of the hydrogen economy. So electrolyzers, fuel cells, all sorts of gas purification, hydrogen purification catalysts. When it comes to ammonia, we have catalysts for ammonia synthesis and ammonia cracking, and so on and so forth. And last but not least, we always try to close the loop with the recycling.
Well, you already alluded to sort of like the role that precious metals play a little bit into this economy, which seems to be significant, the hydrogen economy. But address it a little bit, sort of which of the platinum group metals and precious metals are important in sort of the various systems and where they're used.
Right. Thinking about, let's start with the generation of hydrogen. So there, platinum, iridium, and ruthenium play an important role for proton exchange membrane electrolysis. Also in alkaline electrolysis and also in anion exchange membrane electrolysis. You see here and there precious metals. However, for the PEM, it's really pivotal. You have precious metals used for coatings of bipolar plates or power transport layers in these electrolyzer stacks. And then there are various catalytic uses, for example, for the purification of hydrogen or for the synthesis of ammonia, as already pointed out, or then also for the cracking. Yeah.
I mean, versatility is obviously one of the characteristics probably that precious metals bring to the table, hence why they're used throughout almost the whole sort of value chain, so to speak. But where do you see a bit more of a gravitas taking place? Where are sort of the majority of precious metals currently used in the hydrogen economy?
I think the majority is used strictly in PEM electrolysis and fuel cells, or PEM fuel cells and PEM electrolysis. And that basically means we're talking here about iridium, platinum, and ruthenium, or platinum, iridium, and ruthenium.
Okay, well, iridium obviously smaller market compared to platinum, but platinum compared to maybe some of the other commodities, not a huge market either. Often quoted as precious metal. The presence of precious metals might be hampering growth sort of in the PEM electrolysis and the hydrogen generation aspect of the market. What do you make of that?
Right. So platinum, I think, is not a bottleneck, especially now with the whole electrification going on. You probably know very well that platinum, palladium, rhodium are used in AutoCADs. And of course, these, as the ICEs go down, the internal combustion engines, you also see less demand there. Having said that, of course, on the hydrogen economy for fuel cells and electrolyzers, platinum plays a role, and that is a future growth area. Now, when it comes to iridium, which is used in PEM electrolysis or for the oxygen evolution reaction, a catalyst for the oxygen evolution reaction, that is a scarce element. It's a byproduct of platinum mining. You're talking about 8 to 9 tons yearly primary production. And of course, looking at the announced capacities in PEM electrolysis, I think we're talking here around, originally it was around more than 100, but looking at the current growth rate, we think as Heraeus Precious Metals, we are more in the range of 40 gigawatts until 2030. And that means you need a certain amount of iridium, and this amounts to roughly, with a loading of 16 tons, if you assuming a loading of 400 kilograms per gigawatt, and these 16 tons, of course, need to be supplied. With the assumption that from the current industry, only 1.5 tons per year can be freed up. You see, if you calculate with 6 years, you see around 9 tons, so there is a gap. So basically, thrifting, in our opinion, is pivotal. And thrifting means the reduction of iridium in these PEM electrolyzers, in these PEM stacks. And we, as Heraeus Precious Metals, offer solutions, low iridium-based catalyst with the same stability and same performance as, for example, an iridium black, that's metallic iridium. And that's what basically we are advocating for and pushing for in order to accompany the hydrogen growth, which actually has come down a little bit compared to earlier forecasts, but it's still tremendous, and thrifting is still pivotal to achieve these goals.
Thrifting is one aspect you could allude to. The other one is substitution. What about substitution? Is there an opportunity to substitute iridium with something else that does an equally good job?
Iridium can be completely a complete substitution we don't see. Iridium is a very important, strong metal when it comes to these harsh environments in a PEM electrolyzer. Having said that, you can reduce it, and of course you can fill in with other materials. For example, ruthenium. So iridium-ruthenium mixed oxides, which allow for an 80 to 90% reduction of iridium in a PEM stack. That's possible. That's demonstrated, and of course we are trying to together with our clients to do the final proofs in order to allow this growth in the PEM electrolysis space.
So we talked about thrifting, we talked about substitution. That's more sort of like on equipment, on a product level, what you can do to reduce the overall demand, the requirements of iridium or the precious metals in the electrolyzers. What about the size of the market? Are we going to see some changes there for the precious metals, so the size of the market? So iridium, ruthenium, maybe some of the other ones.
If basically this iridium, if the PEM electrolysis comes, I think there will be a growth in the iridium demand, that's for sure. The question is to which extent will there be a substitution? You know, if the price goes up for iridium, some other applications, iridium will probably not be used anymore, so there will be some more freed up eventually. And on platinum, I think it will more fill in. I don't think it's on top. If you look at the current demand for platinum, I don't think it's gonna explode, especially since there's a counter effect. Actually, the demand for platinum is going down due to the lower demand in the auto card.
I was more also referring to the supply side. So if there's a requirement from demand, obviously one thing to reduce the precious metals needed is to thrifting and substitution, as you already mentioned. But what about a supply response?
I think the supply is somehow fixed. Iridium is a byproduct of platinum mining, so no one is gonna, and it is, I think 5% of our revenue, or less than 5% of revenue of a mine is actually coming from iridium. So that means no one is going to open another mine just to make iridium. So it's a byproduct of platinum mining. Of course, if platinum demand goes up, iridium supply will also improve. Having said that, it doesn't look like right now that there will be a huge additional demand on platinum. There will be more demand, and just actually filling into the reduction you see from the loss of the ICE business, basically.
Okay, Philipp, I think we covered a lot of ground. Is there anything else you would like to add?
Thank you very much.
Thank you too.